Today we are going to study the poem The Duck and the Kangaroo. So in between comes the lesson after the schoolboy. The lesson comes the Jody's farm. So that lesson we are not going to take. Understood? So after that the summit with it. That was the lesson what we had already taken. And then the poem comes the schoolboy. That I will be taking along with this episode. Understood? So after that the lesson comes Jody's farm. Understood? Now we are going to take the schoolboy. Take the poem The Schoolboy. We are going to take the poem The Schoolboy. That means we had completed the lesson The Summit Within. That lesson is completed and the question answers has been sent also. So now we are coming to the next one. So after Summit Within, some little grammar work is there. That means now you look, I will read after the lesson is taken. So now we come straight to the poem The Schoolboy. So how do a schoolboy feels when he is in the school, and how do he feel when he is not in the school? So how do you feel when you are in the school? Now you are not in the school, isn't it? Now all are sitting at home. So how do you feel? Happy? In one way you are feeling happy because no punishment, no going or walking out, going, and no dressing up, no coming, nothing. But at the same time, not seeing any of your teachers, not seeing any of your friends, isn't it? That time, when you feel that you are not seeing any of your teachers or any of your friends, or even not seeing the school, you feel sad. Yes or no? Yes, isn't it? So sometimes when we are in the school, when work is given, when you are not doing a homework, how do you feel? You know that your teacher will punish you. Yes or no? Yes. But if you are doing your work and going your school, when all your work is done and when you had gone to school, you feel happy going to school, isn't it? Now you are sitting at home and your works are coming, but you are not seeing your friends, you are not sitting in the class and interacting with your friends and teachers. That discussing with your friends or discussing with your teachers, that is not there. So how do you feel? You feel boring. All the time only the notes are coming and you are writing, isn't it? You are not coming to see your teachers. In that case you feel sad, isn't it? But still, going to the school building, seeing your friends and teachers is something different, enjoyable, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes, it is the enjoyable thing, going to your school building. Now we will see how is the boy, how do he feel when going to school. The schoolboy. The schoolboy in the poem is not a happy child. So the boy is not at all happy. He is not happy. He is not happy. So now we will see why he is not happy. Understood? Why the boy is not happy. What makes him unhappy? So we have to find out what is the reason the boy is not happy. He has to go to school but he is not happy. Why does he compare himself to a bird that lives in a cage? So this boy is comparing to a bird. A bird which is inside a cage. inside a cage. How is the bird inside a cage? How do the bird feel? Do you think the bird is happy? In many of your houses, you got lovebirds or parrots put inside the cage, isn't it? Do you think that they are happy in that cage? Never, isn't it? You enjoy them. You look at the birds inside the cage and you enjoy them. You feel happy because they are inside the cage, but they are in front of you doing many activities that you enjoy. But how do the birds feel? They also feel what? These birds also feel unhappy. Yes or no? Yes. Why? Because they are inside a cage. They are locked up. They are locked up. That means they are not getting freedom. They are not getting freedom. Think about you. If you are put in a room and not allowed to come out, how do you feel? That means your freedom is stopped. How is your freedom? Not to come out, not to see anybody, not to talk or not to play, nothing. Only inside the room. You will get mad, isn't it? That means you will get angry. You are unhappy. Because why? Your freedom is lost. Your freedom is lost, isn't it? Your freedom is lost. You are not getting any freedom to do according to your taste, isn't it? The same also to the bird. When the bird is inside the cage, it is not able to fly high up in the air like the other birds, enjoying, flapping their wings, and they are flying from one place to another. They are enjoying. They are seeing the beauty of nature. So when they are put in the cage, they are also losing what? Their freedom. But we are happy when seeing the bird. Why? Because they are very near to us. We are able to touch them. So we are happy. But the birds are not at all happy. Understood? So the small boy, he is comparing himself to whom? To a bird which is locked up in a cage. Or a plant that withers when it should blossom. Or a plant means all the plant saplings, all the tender leaves have come and it is time for blooming, for the flowers to come out. At that time, it had faded. What happens? The bird is not feeling happy because it has grown up big, and when the time had come to bloom, it withered means so so how do it feels? Poor plant, it dies off, isn't it? So the boy is comparing himself to a bird and to a plant. Understood? Now we will see what is the reason. Not only bird, he is comparing to a plant also. He is comparing to a plant also. Understood? Now look. I love to rise in a summer morn. Morn means morning. Morning. Morn means morning. When the birds sing on every tree. So, during the summer season, it is very bright and sunny. So, all the birds will be in the trees, and early morning they start making the sound. So, the boy is saying, I love to rise. That means to awake. Rise means to awake. awake. To get up from sleep. The boy is saying he likes to get up from sleep early morning when the birds start singing. The distant huntsman winds his horn and the skylark sings with me. Oh, what sweet company. So the boy, when seeing all the birds sitting on the branches of the tree, of different tree branches, they are sitting different kinds of birds and all are making the sound early morning. So what he is saying, at the same time, at a far distance, huntsman winds his horn. He is making the sound of the horn. Skylark is the bird. It starts to sing. So that time I like enjoying the song by singing with whom? With the skylark. Oh, what sweet company. So saying, singing along with the song of the skylark. It is a sweet company. Understood? That means early morning getting up, hearing the sweet sound of the birds on different branches, and then last a far distance he could hear the horn of the huntsman and the same time to sing along with the skylark bird is a sweet company. Understood? But to go to school in a summer morn off it drives all joy away. So when thinking the morning, enjoying it's okay. But afterwards, when I think today I have to go to school, then all my happiness had gone. Everything goes away. My all sweet company and my happiness all goes away. Under a cruel eye outgrown. Cruel eye means whose eye, or when you go to the school? Teachers, isn't it? Teachers' eye. Teachers' eye. Under a cruel eye outgrown, the little ones spend the day in sighing and dismay. Sighing means in relief and dismay, unhappiness. So the whole day they are looking under whose eye? Teachers' cruel eyes. So all the children are frightened because the teacher is there in front of them watching. So all their happiness will go away and everyone are sad. Then at times I am drooping sit and spend many an anxious hour, nor in my book can I take delight, nor sit in learning's powder, worn through with a dreary shower. Then at times I drooping sit, that means I am sitting in my classroom and spend many an anxious hour and spending my time there. Anxiously sending means anxious when the hour will be over, when the school will be over. So all the time in front of the teacher, what the child is thinking? Oh, when I will get out of this school, when I get out of the school. So all the time not listening to the lessons or not listening to anything what the teacher is saying, but his mind is always thinking what? When I will get out of this. Understood? Nor in my book. That means not looking in my book. Can I take delight? I am not happy looking in my book. No sitting learning for not even sitting and learning. I won't go with the deary shower, but I am looking at whose eye I am sitting? Teacher's eye. I am not anxious to learn. I am not interested to sit and study or look into my book, but I am very anxious to know when will what will ring? Bell will ring, isn't it? To run out of the school. a bird which is born to for joy sit in a cage and sing. So how can the bird which wanted, that means the bird which wanted to enjoy flying himself to any place, enjoying himself, how can we keep such a bird inside the cage and ask him to sing? So what kind of song the bird will sing? Naturally the bird will sing happy song or sad song? Sad song. Why? Because he is put inside the cage. He is not allowed to fly and enjoy with the other birds, isn't it? So he is not at all happy. So he is asking how a bird inside the cage asked him to sing when he wanted to enjoy himself flying in the air. How can a child, when fierce, annoyed, but drooping her tender wings and forget his youthful spring? That means youthful means the child age. How can we spoil the child age when he wanted to enjoy himself? Tender means that soft and innocent time. The soft and innocent time of the child. Tender time. He is not a grown up. So he is only small. Tender. Soft and tender. Innocent. Innocent childhood. So during his childhood, he should be allowed to do everything of his own to enjoy himself. That time, if you send him to the school, what will happen? There who is there? The teacher's cruel eye is after him. There he is not able to enjoy himself. Sitting under the teacher's cruel eye, he is not interested to look at the books or to learn. Always thinking when he can come out of this cruel eye, isn't it? So comparing to a bird who wanted to enjoy his life flying in the air is put inside the cage and asking him to sing. Will the bird sing happily? No, the bird will not sing happily, isn't it? And at the same time he is saying at this tender age, at his soft and innocent childhood, how he can be put in a school. So this is the reason why the boy is saying that he is unhappy. Why the school boy is saying he is unhappy. Understood now? That means, and forget his youthful phase. That means the spring season. What is so special about the spring season? During the spring season, all the leaves, new leaves for the plants will come up, and they start to bloom, flowers everywhere, isn't it? New leaves and new flowering. That is the springtime. So when he is comparing, how can this childhood, when coming at that small age, blooming time, putting in the school, he is not able to enjoy his life. Clear to you? Now look. The schoolboy in the poem is not a happy child. What makes him unhappy? Why does he compare himself to a bird that lives in a cage or a plant that withers when it should blossom? Poem. I love to rise in a summer morn when the birds sing on every tree. The distant huntsman wind is blown and the skylark sings with me. Oh, what sweet company! But to go to school in a summer morn, off it drives all joy away. Under a cruel eye outworn, the little ones spend the day in sighing and dismay. Sighing and dismay, that is the great problem. Oh, then at times I drooping sit and spent many an anxious hour, nor in my book can I take delight, nor sit in learner's brother. Born through with a dreary shower, how can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? How can a child when fierce and annoyed but droop his tender wing and forget his youthful spring? Now again, oh father and mother, if bud are nipped and blossoms blown away, and if the tender plants are stripped, or the joy in the springing day by sorrow and chaos dismay. So now he is saying, oh father and mother, if buds are nipped, nipped means striped away, cut away, nipped, cut away, and blossoms blown away, and that the flowering plants are blown away. When the wind comes, they are being taken away from that tender plant, isn't it? When they are being taken away, thrown out. And if the tender plants are striped, and if that plant is being broken, of their joy in the springing day. So instead of enjoying their joy during the spring season, if the blossom is not blooming up, and if that bud is being crushed out, are they enjoying their spring season? Because during the spring season, new flowers and new plants start coming up. Leaves, plants, flowers, everything will start coming out. So when at that time when it is to bloom up, if you crush down the bud and the blooming flower, is it enjoying its happiness? By sorrow and chaos dismay, only sorrow is left. How shall the summer arise in joy, or the summer fruits appear? And if the summer is after spring comes the summer season, isn't it? So during the spring season, new leaves and new buds arises, and during the summer season they all bloom up, fruits, everything will start coming. So during the spring season, if we crush down all these during the summer, do they come? Do they come for enjoy? Nothing will be there, all is destroyed, isn't it? How shall the summer rise? Then how can we say summer season is enjoying? Summer fruits appear, then how can the fruits appear during the summer season? Summer season, all these spring season, all these will start blooming, a mango and all start flowering, and then raw mangoes appear, isn't it? And then comes the summer season. Next is the summer season. Summer season, what happens? They all get ripened. So if we cut down all that blooming, tender, soft buds, what happened? Will they again come up to appear as fruits? No, they will not come out to appear as fruits. Then what is the use of the summer season? So can be enjoyed during the summer season. These are the comparisons said by the schoolboy. Understood? Oh father and mother, if buds are nipped and blossom blown away, and if the tender plants are stripped of their joy in the springing day, by sorrow and chaos dismay, how shall the summer arise in joy? He is asking the question, then how can we enjoy the summer season, or the summer fruits appear? Then how can the fruits appear during the summer season? Because their nuts are being nipped out, buds taken out. Understood now? Okay. The first question. Find 3 or 4 word phrases in stanza 1 that reflect the child's happiness and joy. So 4 words. Which are the 4 words? Singing of the birds, then winding the horn, then skylark singing. Isn't it? sings. Then huntsman winds his horn. That means the birds are singing of the birds in the early morning, and he loves to rise in the summer morning, and he likes to sing along with the skylark's song, and at the same time it is a sweet company. Understood now? Second one, in stanza 2 the mood changes. So in the first stanza he loves to get up in the early summer morning. So the second stanza 4 line, what he is thinking? Going to the school, isn't it? So here he is, this 4 he is enjoying, isn't it? He is enjoying. He is enjoying 4 things. Now coming to the second stanza, the mood changes. That means that happiness changes into he is becoming unhappy. The second stanza he is becoming unhappy by thinking of going to the school. Which word or phrase reflect the changing mood? That means drives all joy away. So how he becomes? First stanza, he is getting happy. He is happy to get up in the summer morning, isn't it? Because to enjoy the song of the birds. And the second stanza, drives all joy away, taken away all the joy. Then under a cruel eye, under a cruel eye, sighing and dismay. That means in the second stanza when he thinks that he want to go to school, how do he feel? All his happiness is gone out of him, isn't it? All his happiness goes out of him when he has to spend the whole day under whom? Under a cruel eye. That means that is being compared to a teacher. The whole day he had to be under the eye of a teacher, and then the whole day with a great relief and sorrow he has to sit there. So these are the things in the second stanza mentioned where his happiness had gone. What the answer? Now a cruel eye outward. It is said the classroom which is shabby, the lessons which are difficult, the dull inspiring life at school with lots of work and no play. That means the whole time teacher is there in the class, so no kind of play is done, only working is done. Understood? Mark the answer that you consider right. Now sit in learner's bower, worn through with the deary shower. Which of the following is a close paraphrase of the lines above? Nor sit in the. Nor can I sit in a roofless classroom when it is raining. That means without roof, are you able to sit in the classroom when it is raining? No. Nor can I learn anything at school, though teachers go on lecturing and explaining. Nor can I sit in the school garden and the fear of getting wet in the rain. No. What is the answer? Nor can I. That means the child is not able to learn or listen to what the teacher is saying, because he is not interested. He is always anxious to go out of the classroom. I learn anything at school, though teachers go on lecturing and explaining. Because the whole day, what he is doing, what the teacher is doing, teacher is taking the work, giving them the work, teaching them, isn't it? And he has to sit there for the whole day listening to the teacher's work or lecture, isn't it? He is not able to concentrate in that. Why? Because he did not want to do anything. His mind is very anxious to go out. Understood? That is why the child had said that he did not want to be in the school, isn't it? Now look at the poem once more. I love to rise in a summer morn when the birds sing on every tree. The distant huntsman winds his horn and the skylark sings with me. Oh, what sweet comedy. The first stanza shows how happy the child is. But to go to school in a summer morn, or it drives all joy away. Thinking about going to the school, all this happiness goes away. Under a cruel eye outworn, the little ones spent the day in sunning and dismay. Then at times I drooping sit and spend many an anxious hour. Nor in my book can I take light. That means I am not happy when looking in my book. Nor sitting learner's burden, not even sitting and listening to what the teacher is saying. Gone through with the dearish hour. That means thinking about only that cruelness. How can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? How can a child when fears annoy but droop his tender wing and forget his youthful spring? O father and mother, if buds are nipped and blossoms blown away, and if the tender plants are stripped of their joy in the springing day, by sorrow and cares dismayed, how shall the summer arise in joy or the summer fruits appear? This is what the child is saying. So now you understood why the schoolboy is not happy. Understood? Because he thinks he is similar to water, to a plant. At his tender time itself, withered away. Withered means crushed away or blown away in the strong wind. Or to a bird that is put inside the cage and asking him to sing a song. So the bird will not sing a sweet song, isn't it? The song will be a sad song, because what is being lacked over there, what is being put out of the bird is freedom. So the bird will not sing happily, isn't it? And next one, when the buds are being nipped out, how can it come out into a sweet fruit during the time of summer season? That means at the time of the bud itself, when it is crushed out, what will not come out? Sweet fruit will not come out. That means no enjoyment during which season? During the season, summer season. This is what the child is saying. Now read the following poem and compare it with the school poem. The one for when I was young, I went to school with a pencil and food rule, sponge and slate, and sat on a tall stool at learner's gate. When I was older, the gates went wide, clever and keen-eyed, in I pressed, but found in the mind's pride no peace, no rest. Then who was it taught me back to go, to cattle and burrow, field and plough, to keep to the one's borrow, as I do now. So when the time was given him to go to school, he did not do that. So he became a laborer. What kind of labor? A farmer. He has to do all the work in the farm, ploughing and sowing the seeds and cutting, isn't it? Cutting the crops. And even today also, because he did not study when the time was given to him, he had to become a farmer. Isn't it? So now, that is what, when we are asked to study, we have to study. That is the proper time. And if we are not interested to do it at our proper time, then we are not able to catch it. Isn't it? Then our whole life is taken away. That means we have to suffer. So that is why he said the correct time is there for each and everything, and we have to follow them accordingly. Understood? Now, the outer way around. Took sand, whirled slowly. There is no egg and eggplant, no ham in hamburger, and neither apple or pine in pineapple. Neither apple nor pine in pineapple. Boxing rings are square. There are noses that run and feet that smell. Noses that run and feet that smell. Understood? So now we come to the end of the lesson.